Welcome to the Firehouse, the show dedicated to the brave men and women who serve our community.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Firehouse on WRHU 88.7. I am your host, Chris Moses, and today, sitting with me in the Firehouse is my boy, Josiyah Green, right? Got it right. Inwood, baby. Inwood Fire Department, 01, right?
Yeah, 01.
01, I love that. All right, so before I give everything away, I want you to, just tell me about, how long you've been in the department. Of course, shout out the department and the ranks.
Joined Inwood Fire Department out of college. So I was 2015, February 2015. So I'm coming up on 10 years. Got in as lieutenant at a really young age, 21 years old. Became lieutenant at Engine Company number 1.
Okay.
And rose the ranks. Now I'm in my first year, 01.
First year, 01. So how's that feel, man?
It's crazy. It's.
I mean, just as 02. So y'all have just 02, 01.
So we got 3 chiefs, 00, 01, and 02.
Okay.
I got real lucky. Like 2 of my best friends. Like my 02 is definitely my childhood best friend. We've been playing Little League football.
So y'all having fun in that.
Yeah, we've been playing Little League football together since we were 6 and 7 years old. Wow. All been friends throughout high school, friends in our adult life. And our chief of the department is our boy. Like he's known us since we was little kids running around.
Oh,
he's big brother and trying to keep me and him in check. So it's a great experience.
Quick question for people that don't know: where is Inwood?
So we are the armpit of Nassau County of Long Island. We're one of the last towns that border the city.
Okay.
So we're the 5 towns. So when you're flying from flying into JFK, you fly right over us every time.
So you fly right over there. So that's what we see when we look down.
A lot of people think Inwood is Far Rockaway. No, they think it's Queens.
Oh, they think it's
Queens? Because we literally back up to Queens. We have a couple streets. Like Sheridan Boulevard turns into Beach Channel Drive. Monroe Street turns into Beach 11th Street. Like we have streets where one side of the block is New York City, one side of the block is Nassau County. So a lot of people see it on the map and they just automatically assume we're Queens. Yeah, but it's we're part of the 5 towns. So.
So you're part of 5 towns.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So there's 02, there's 01, and there's 00. Yeah. Let's start from the beginning before we even get to that. Let's start from the beginning. What makes you say, I want to be a firefighter?
So 2 of my uncles were in the fire department.
Okay.
My uncle, he left and went to Meadowmere Park. He's now the chief of the department there. And my uncle passed away 10 years ago. So growing up, I was always at the firehouse with them. You know what I'm saying? Like my uncle would always bring me there, especially on my birthday. That was like my little gift to the fire. Go to the firehouse, chill, see the trucks. And I always said it from a little kid, like even in my preschool graduation picture. My mom showed it to me a couple weeks ago. It says firefighter at the bottom of it. So it's something I always wanted to do.
Always. Okay.
So when I was 18, came home from college, I was like, you know what, let me just do it. So
there was no juniors or you just didn't join it?
I played football, so I didn't do
juniors. So
I was Little League football. My mom was like, one or the other. You pick.
Okay, pick one. She ain't going to have you
we're not doing both. So you're going to pick Buccaneers or the juniors. So I chose Buccaneers. And so played Buccaneers, really didn't do the junior thing. And I got into it when I was 18 years old. Joined the Firehouse, and the rest is history. Been having a blast since.
So 18 you joined. So would you join truck?
So we run as the department when call was. So we got to run. The first rig always out is the engine, but we have 3 different companies. So I'm an engine company.
Okay.
Still one of the best company in the place.
There we go.
Yeah,
What's the name of the company?
Engine Company 1, 311.
311. Okay, shout out. Boop, 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 boop.
So we're engine company, hose company, and truck company. So I joined engine company in 2015, became lieutenant in 2017 when I was 21. And came 02 when I was 25 years old.
So now the question is always like, you wanted to be a firefighter since you were little, but once you get in, there's, politics and it's all that other stuff. Yeah, what makes you say, you know what, I now want to be a boss here? Like, now I don't want to just do my job. I want to make sure other people are doing their job, which is a stress in itself.
Yeah, you got the politics, but, I always tell guys, if you come out, you turn out, you do the right thing, you keep your head low, keep your mouth shut, learn the job, do what you got to do, you're not going to really fall into the politics trap. Yes, it's going to happen someday, but you want to make a change. So don't be the guy that's going to sit back and complain about it. Make the change
and not doing it.
So like we had a company. We started getting a lot of younger guys, and my company was on the senior side. So guys like, oh, I'm not going to keep running for captain. I'm not going to keep doing this. So like, here, now it's you. So now the younger guys are coming in, they're stepping up and being officers. Like most of our officers right now, I probably was in high school with.
Wow.
With the exception of one. You know, he's an ex-chief. But for the
most part, it's a real tight family over there.
Yeah, for the most part, everybody that's in office, we all probably a year apart in high school together.
Okay.
So everybody knows each other. So it's like, it works really well.
That makes it much easier.
Yeah. You know, who knew him when he was younger? That might be his little cousin. You know, so everybody knows everybody. That's the greatest thing about Inwood. Like, it's so tight and knit. Everyone knows. You know his mother knows your mother, his grandmother, and your mother were friends. Like, it was great.
I love that. So, what is that, 10 years you've been in?
Yeah, coming up on 10.
Coming up on 10 years, so I know you got some stories. So we might as well just start there. You know this question was coming. We might as well just start there. I need some good stories. I mean, Give me at least 2 good stories of what happened in Inwood in the past 10 years.
So we're a very small place, 1.3 square miles. We're not killing it dead with fires. We catch a lot of our work mutual aid. Okay. And there's no shame in it. We still catching work. But my first call when I realized this was real, it wasn't a job, but it was an auto accident. It was like probably 12 o'clock in the morning. Car ran a light, dump truck hit him. Boom. Brought him to a pole. Car explodes.
Explodes? Yeah. TV style.
Yeah. Like, so now I'm home and my mom wakes me up like, yo, we don't have any power. So I'm like, what do you mean we don't have any power? Mm-hmm. So I go outside and all you see is a fireball over the building.
Oh, man. And you're in at this moment.
I'm in. I'm brand new.
So you're like.
I'm brand new.
Where's the call? How come I didn't get anything?
I'm literally brand new. Right? So now a pager starts going off.
Okay.
Go to the firehouse. The whole town is out of power because it took down the transformer that fed most of that side of town. So I get to the firehouse. The first 2 engines gone. So I get on the rescue with one of the ex-captains. He's driving. We get there. And it is literally a fireball. I'm like, what is going on?
This is real.
2 people unfortunately passed away. And I was like, yo, that's when I realized this was real.
Fire don't care whether.
Yeah, this is when I realized like this is real. That was my first time seeing a dead body. Like this is when I realized it was real. You know, and my first Signal 10 was in Lawrence.
But before we get to the Signal 10, what you just said about seeing the dead bodies, seeing all of that, knowing that it's real, what made you not turn around? Right, like some people will see this stuff and just be like, "This isn't for me." You turned up and was ready for the next one. It just was in you feel, or?
Yeah, seeing guys like, listen, you're going to see some gruesome stuff. Like, this is what it is. Like, and I feel like really nobody would have made fun of you, per se, in a politically correct way to say it.
Yeah.
That you can't be bothered by it. Because it's not normal to see a dead body on a regular basis. Like, that's not normal. Yeah. You know, and a senior guy always told me, like, you got to be a little crazy to do this. Like,
just a little.
No normal human being is gonna
running into fires.
No normal person and I know is gonna do it. So you got to be off your rocker just a little bit.
That's a sound clip right there. That's a sound.
Yeah, like you got to be off your rocker.
Got to be off your rocker
just a little bit. You know, and I'm off my rocker a little bit. And it was an unfortunate, sad situation.
Yeah, of course.
But we came back. Everybody talked about it. We moved on, and I stayed.
Yeah.
There was another individual that was there. It really rattled him a little bit, and he left. Not too long.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So and that's what I said. Some people, it's
and
too
like
much for
I don't knock him for it because like we were 18 years old.
Yeah.
18, 19 years old. Like this is your first time seeing a burnt body. Like it wasn't just like someone passed away expectedly. Like this was traumatic. So I get why he left, but for me it wasn't. It fazed me a little bit, and then we just moved on from it.
Did they give you support? They
they spoke.
So that's the good thing. Just for our listeners, just so you know, firefighters, first responders do get support when they see things like this. Because, like you said, this is not normal.
No.
Nothing that we see every day. But there's support, people to talk to. There's resources.
Yeah,
there.
absolutely. So our chief of the department at the time was he was like, if anybody wants to talk, a lot of senior guys came and talked to a lot of the junior guys that were there because they knew I was our first time seeing something like this. So the senior guys really stepped up in a huge role. So it was a good thing to have that. But if it's there and you need it, they're always willing to come and help you.
They're always there. So. All right, let's get into this Signal 10. First Signal 10, baby.
First Signal 10 was.
I think you know what? I think that's going to be a new question for the show. What their first Signal 10 was. I think that's going to be a new question. I'm going to write that down.
First Signal 10 was in Lawrence, Cedarhurst. Well, 18 years old, sitting in the Firehouse. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you know Lawrence, Cedarhurst District. They go from small private dwellings to mansions.
Wow. Okay.
Mansions. So First Signal 10's in a mansion. I'm clueless. It's the first time I'm going to a fire. And
the stretch on those things are insane.
The stretch is
right?
the stretch
it's insane.
Before you get to the stretch, the drop in.
Just the drop in is
it's insane.
Which I'm from Uniondale, so we don't really see that.
Yeah, no, like you got to drop from a hydrant 800 feet up another driveway that's 300 feet. Yeah, so the stretch in some of those areas back there is insane. Like it actually is insane, and they do a really good job training on it, especially with the whole 3-department response. I'll get into that later, but they really do a good job with that.
Okay.
So First Signal 10, I'm doing outside work, and like I'm just sitting there, and these guys are coming out, beat, and I'm just like, what am I doing? So after they bring me in and do overhaul, we found a pocket of fire, and it's like, it's go time again. Like you in here, you can't go.
That's it.
And a lot of the guys that were there were experienced firemen, whether they worked in the city or just had years in the volunteers. They showed me how to open up, and that was my moment when I knew this is what I want to do. Like this was my
right there.
This is what I knew. Yeah.
So and I always say, like, people don't know what they're gonna until you're faced with it, right?
Yeah.
So people are like, oh yeah, I'm down, but once you get in there and it's pitch black, and you're like, or before you even get there, you see the flames, and they're like, yeah, go in there.
Yeah.
Some people are like, I'm not.
I got friends that say I'm crazy for doing it, but once you get through it, it's like, all right, we could do this.
You can get it going.
That all comes with the training, training and knowledge. Like you could get there, like, and it's just passing it down from you to the next guy, to the next guy, to the next guy. Yeah. Just let the training and the knowledge keep flowing.
That's it. So walk me through a typical day in Inwood. Your day is Sunday? Is that your day that you train?
We do Wednesday nights and we do Sundays. So.
Wednesdays and Sundays. So what's a typical Sunday look like when it comes to training?
Typical Sunday, you come in the Firehouse. You have the senior coffee crew. Okay. They've been there since 5 o'clock in the morning.
I love that. A lot of departments got away from that, the senior guys. So you guys still have. And what do you call them?
The coffee clutch.
the coffee clutch.
So you got they're all,
shout out to the coffee clutch.
They were all town of Hempstead guys. They were school janitors, bus drivers. So they all meet up. They work for the village of Lawrence and Cedar. So everybody converged at the Firehouse between the hours of 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. The door is like a revolving door. There's people coming in and out, including myself. If I'm on my way to work, I'll stop in and have a cup of coffee. But so they're there around 5 o'clock. They set up the table for the bagels. Guys start strolling in 8:15, 8:30. We start at 9 o'clock. Okay. So the rules always get your bagel before, don't get it during.
Yeah.
So now we go out, guys check the rig. Guys in each company, they go check that company rig.
Yep.
So hopefully we get that done around 30, 45 minutes. And then we pick what we're going to do for the day. So if we did hose stretching last week, we're going to incorporate that with flowing water this week. Okay. If we did VES, we'll go up to the training facility. Or like right now, we just got a new ladder, so we really been going out on our new rig.
Pushing that, positioning, flowing water, setting it up in tight spots, like just getting guys familiar with it. So that's our typical Sunday. And so we usually end around 12 o'clock, 11:45, and then guys just hang out till all day because now we watch football. Football season.
We got an annex building. So one of the ex-chief, he usually cooks. He has a family of like 5. He cooks for 50. So he brings nothing but food. So we're all sitting in the annex building, smoking cigars, joking,
just hanging
out, watching football. So that's the typical Sunday in Inwood for us.
So I got a question about just camaraderie. Like, how do you keep that camaraderie? Being that, though it is good that you all grew up together and you know each other, sometimes that could cause issues. How do you keep that camaraderie within Inwood?
I think for me personally, I think the smaller the department, the better.
Yes, makes it
because
easier.
it's less egos, less issues, less personalities that are willing to crash. And it's not a knock to the bigger departments, but when everybody's a year, 2 years apart, and that's from like the guys my age to the guys that are 60 and 70 right now. There's not a big age gap between the junior guys and the senior guys. I mean, there is, but they all went to school with each other. They know, or they went to school with that guy's brother. I went to school with his cousin and my sister were best friends, his sister and my sister. Like, everyone knew each other. Like, you knew everybody in Inwood. You could walk past and they know, oh, Josiah, that's Bubba's nephew. Like, they know who that is, Chris Klein. you see Chris Klein and Josiyah, they just joined the fire department. Like, everyone knows. So that's how we grew up. And now we all know. I joined because I wanted to do it. Then you have friends that join because, all right, I'm here. Let me try it out. Then they stay. Yeah, my boy's there. Like, yo, now we got another one of our boys that joined. Okay. He's going to stay there. Like, now, next thing you know, you sit in the firehouse on a Friday night and it's 10 of your boys just hanging out.
Okay.
And if, you got boys from the next town over, like Lawrence Heater, it's the next town over.
They coming over.
This guy, we hang out with each other. So, like, there's a kid we went to high school with. We used to hang out at LC with him, or he used to hang out with us. Like, it's just one big family throughout the whole. Going to high school together helped it all out.
I love that. So you basically, like you told me, you said it was your uncle and your dad?
My uncle, both my uncles.
Both your uncles. Yeah. Both your uncles were in. So both your uncles being in, I mean, tell me a story about that. Like, as growing up, I know they were running in the fires. And is there anything that you could remember that you're like,
it was funny.
Another reason we're like, oh, I want to do this.
So I was probably 13 years old. So my uncle, me, my grandmother, my uncle, my mom, my aunt, we were all sitting on my porch outside. And we looked down the block, and there's smoke coming out from like the back of this house. And I'm like, yo, I think that house is on fire. So my uncle's like, shut up. It's a barbecue. I'm like, all right, whatever. I look again, I'm like, yo, there's smoke coming from this house. And now, like, people are starting to pour out of the house. And he's like, nah, it's probably a barbecue or fire pit. It was the summer. So I'm like, nah, dog. Like, I think that building's on fire. Like,
it's something.
I'm no expert, but like, I think that building's on fire.
Something's going on.
And he's like, oh, wait, that is on fire. So then he leaves. So we're sitting outside, gets his car, he leaves, go to the firehouse, the whistle starts blowing, you hear it. My other uncle was second deputy at the time. Okay. He pulls up, transmits it. And they had a really good, from what I hear today of the stories, they had a really good job in there. Like, it was in the setback, up, it got above them, and up into the attic space. Like, they had a really good job. And I'm like, dude, I told you. Like,
thanks, nephew.
He comes back like, he goes, thanks, nephew. Nah, he was like, just shut up next time. I'm like, all right, we're all I told you, I was right. You can just say thank you. Like, that's the nicest thing you can say. Yeah. It was like a funny experience. And like, so now they get there, we help them. I'm helping them move hose. And I'm all 12, 13 years old. And I was
so you were there from the beginning.
I was there, so it was literally at the end of my block. I ran down my block. The house faced my block. So
you're out there humping holes with them.
Yeah, they had to move the 5-inch to get the truck in front of the building. So the chief of the department at the time was like, yo, get your hands on it. Let's move this. So we pulled the 5-inch away. Wow. So the truck hit the front of the building. And it was a sick experience. Like, I thought I did so much and I did so little.
I don't want to cut you off, but you got to explain that to our listeners that don't know. What do you mean the truck had to get the front of the building? And who was the person that dropped the hose that was right there? So, like, what? Explain that a little bit.
No, so it was the second due engine. They came in. Okay. And they picked up a hydrant. And what a hydrant was, it wasn't their fault.
Okay, it wasn't their
fault. No, it wasn't their fault.
They
didn't purposely do it. Because the first due engine, they picked up a hydrant on the corner of Walcott and Bayview, and they laid in. So the fire building was on the opposite side of the street. Second due picked up the hydrant. They had to tie in. But the 5-inch was a little in the way of the outrigger for the truck to set up. So we just pulled it back, and the truck was able to make the move.
And just for our listeners again, what is the importance of having that open for truck?
One is for us.
Yep.
We're there to protect life and property. But when a guy shows out a window, that bucket needs to be there. That area needs to be there. So that's why biggest thing, the truck needs to be in the front of the building.
Make the room, people. Make the room. Make way for the truck.
Guys don't get in the habit of it, and I see it all the time. We're starting to really preach it down by us. Like, it takes 2 seconds to get off the back of the rig before we charge the 5-inch and kick it off to the side.
That's it.
If you have a parked car, it's not going to damage the car. Move it to the side, because when we charge it, we ain't moving it.
That's it.
We're not moving. I don't care how much you bench. You're not moving. You're not moving the charge 5-inch.
Don't matter.
So just take the 2 seconds, put it off to the side,
and make
sure. Get the engine out the way. That was another thing. Just get the engine out of the way, and leave room for the truck. You want to get as many trucks in front of the building as you can.
All right. So, RIP. I think you said one of your uncles passed, right? But did you serve with any of them? Like, were they in at any time?
They weren't in when I joined.
When you joined, okay.
It's actually pretty cool right now. I just swore my uncle in as chief of the department in Meadowmere Park.
Okay.
So we're serving. We're not serving together, but we're serving. We're in the chief's office at the same time.
That's dope. Y'all can go have stories back and forth.
Yeah, he'll never admit it because he wants to be Mr. Macho, but he loves it. That him and I in the chief's office together. We bicker back and forth about certain things, but I'll admit
it's a chief's council later.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool experience. Fun. Like, just going to runs and fires with your uncle, knowing that like we both are chiefs together. So it's like kind of like a little dream come true for both of us.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. All right, so let's keep going here. I got a quick question about technology, right? So you know that, technology has evolved over years. So what is one piece of equipment or technology that has significantly impacted your job?
So everybody's talking about right now the masks, the cameras, the ropes. To me, the biggest and it's irreplaceable. There's no dollar value on it. Is the senior guy.
Wow.
So
explain that.
There's no dollar value on that. Like these guys, have been there, have done it. They've learned from some of the best. They've honed their craft for years and decades, and it's a generational, it's a family tradition. And you can't replace any of that. Like you could break a camera and I could buy another one. I lose that senior guy and he wasn't able to pass down the knowledge. You can never get that out of him.
So, I never looked at it like that.
So technology is great.
Everyone's looking at pieces of technology. I love the way you put that. Keep
technology
going.
is great, but like you can replace technology.
Yep.
And something's always going to become new and better.
Yep.
That senior guy with his knowledge is never going to become replaced, new or better. Like it was a trick. A senior guy taught me once, like, we were at a job, we're up in the attic, and his ear is out. And some guys might not like it, but to me, it made sense of why he did it. Yep. His ear is out.
See how deep.
So now he's like, I'm like, why'd you have your ear out? He goes, because I know one or two things, where I am and where we shouldn't be. The closer we are, the hotter my ear is going to be.
Yep.
And if my ear is really too hot, we're in a really bad spot. So that's like just a little trick from him, that was like, wow, I didn't think about that. Because you're so encapsulated, you were just going deeper and deeper. At least with his ear out, he tells me, I know when we shouldn't be going this far, or I know where the fire is. We have a clue or idea of where this fire is.
What's going on.
Like if he doesn't tell me that, he takes that with him. You can't replace that.
Can't replace that.
Guys showing you little tricks about pumping a truck. Everything's everything's electric now. It's easy to do, but when you got to learn how to pump on a manual truck, they teach you all these little tricks of the trades. When you qualify and show up training on the ladder, you can't replace that knowledge with a dollar value. So technology is great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking it.
It is, but
but the word and the training and the knowledge passed on from the senior guy in every firehouse is unreplaceable.
It's huge. It's huge. I love that answer. I really do, And no one has said anything like that. Everyone has took it as technology and a piece of equipment.
Don't get me wrong. Like, listen, we got the new radio. The new radios, they're great. The thermal imaging cameras, they're great. They got the camera and the face piece now.
Yeah.
That's all dope. It's expensive. It's dope, but the little trick of the trade from the senior guy goes.
That could save your life.
Yeah.
That could save your life. Yeah. That is so true. I love that. All right. So another question, common myth that you want to debunk right now. We've had things like people said we don't get cats in the trees. Then I had a guy say he actually did get a cat in the tree. Tell me a common myth you want to debunk about firefighting.
I really don't think we have a myth. Like you really are the jack of all trades.
That's a fact.
So there's really no myth. Like, especially in Inwood, you could go from an auto accident to a person in the water. Some people say, no, we're the fire department. No, you are the fire department, but we do everything.
Okay.
So I really don't have a myth. Only thing is like Chicago fire is fake.
We're going to get to that.
Station 19, that's all fake.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. We're definitely going to.
That's the myth I want to debunk. That's not real.
Matter of fact, let's get to that right now.
I don't know how Casey and Severide haven't died yet.
Yeah, right?
I don't know how these guys haven't died. Yeah. I don't know how they haven't died yet.
And for people that do watch the show, all firefighters do not think they're cops because Casey acts like a cop. All of them, we do not. We're not going to people's houses and doing investigations because we're upset about something. It doesn't work like that. But since we're talking about TV shows, we might as well play the Flashover. Have you heard of the Flashover? Have you watched the show and saw it?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to ask you two things, Apple, Android, but we're going to do TV shows, and you got to tell me the answer really quick. Now, I've thought about, and I've said this before on the show, thought about changing them, but everyone wants to keep it the same because they want to know what you're going to say with these shows. All right, so really quick, what is a Flashover, Chief?
Flashover is when the heat and oxygen reaches temperature burning point and we're letting it go.
And that's it. Everything, boom, just like that. Heats up in the room. All right. And that is the basis of this game called the Flashover. I need a quick answer. All right. So, Chief, are you ready for the Flashover?
I was ready.
All right, let's go. Chicago Fire, rescue me.
Chicago Fire.
Even though you said you hated that.
Tommy Gavin aggravates me.
Rescue me, third watch.
Rescue me.
Rescue me. Backdraft, ladder 49. That's a hard one. That's a hard one. That's a hard one. Backdraft, ladder 49.
Backdraft original? Or
I don't see. It's so crazy because someone else said that there was another backdraft.
Yeah,
I don't even think we consider that as one of them.
No,
so we're only talking about the first one because the second one was sorry to the people that made that, but some classics you leave alone, and they should have left that alone.
Backdraft got great lines. Like you can never wear 17 like that. That is great. I'm gonna go ladder 49.
Ladder 49. All right. I'm gonna go ladder 49. It's funny because I feel like the younger, more, I guess my age, your age, we go more ladder 49, even though we love backdraft.
Yeah, I like ladder 49.
I love ladder 49. And then last question, the most important question I'm gonna ask today: engine or truck?
So, like I said, I'm assigned to the engine company.
Okay.
Right. But we ride as a department.
Okay.
I've had my most fun on the truck.
Had your most fun, so
I'm gonna go with the
you're
truck.
Gonna go with truck. Boom, boom, boom. Truck is in the building.
Yeah,
there we go.
I'm gonna go with the truck.
All right.
I've had my most fun and some good jobs
as a truck.
On a truck, yeah.
Okay.
So
when you go to and this is a question that we had talked about before, when you go to like fire school and everything.
Yeah.
If you're for like us, I'm in Uniondale, so I'm an engine company. But when I go to fire school, I'd want to go as truck.
So like I said,
more.
Like I said earlier, we ride as a department. Like we have the 3 separate companies for technicalities, but we ride as a department. So you could be assigned to the engine or hose company, but if the ladder, which is 3-on-3, is going mutual aid, it's a mishmash. Yeah, you got to know.
So you're training.
So you have to know. You have to know to hit the hydrant. You got to know to be the OV. You got to know to be the cam man. You got to know to be the irons man. You got to know to be the control door backup. Like you have to be able to switch from being the engine officer to the truck officer.
Okay.
Like I said earlier, you could go from a pin job to a water rescue.
Wow.
So like guys that are in small firehouses and one department firehouse, one stations, like you got to know everything. Like you're really the jack
of all trades. You got to learn it all. So when y'all come in on training, your probies are learning everything.
They got to learn everything. Like you said you're strictly engine.
Yeah.
Most guys don't know how to know about the truck. They don't know about the OV.
Yeah.
They might,
know a little bit. Yeah, but you
don't know it in depth. Like where you're supposed to be. Like where's the OV got to go for this building? Where's the OV where's the roof man got to be for this 1-story commercial? Like these are things that you have to learn and also know how to do on the engine. Like you have to know the engine's job. Where's the hydrant? Are we going to steam it? Are we going to lay in? Are we going to stretch it better cross lays? Like there's a lot of different things that keep your mind running that you have to stay on your toes about it. And like down by us, we do what we call the 3rd Battalion West.
Okay.
So it's Inwood, Florence, and Woodmere. And, with volunteering being as hard as it is right now, we basically combine for all phone alarms.
Wow.
So if there's a fire in Inwood, I get a ladder from Lawrence Cedarhurst and a Woodmere engine. And if it's a house or building, I get an additional engine from Valley Stream.
Wow.
And we all kind of work hand in hand with each other. We do try once a month to do a 3rd Battalion West training. So
everybody could
with everybody, you need to learn my engine. This guy's from Woodmere. Come learn Inwood's engine.
Makes sense.
Come learn Inwood's ladder. So we want to be in tune with everything. And the last couple jobs we've been having has been a well-oiled machine.
Wow.
No one's here to beat each other in. We let it be known. Like if in Inwood, Lawrence Cedarhurst is going to be the first 2 ladder, and Lawrence Cedarhurst, Inwood's going to be the first 2 ladder. It's just the pride's aside. No one. The homeowner doesn't care if the side of the fire truck says.
They don't.
And
they don't.
My first time running a fire, I didn't care what fire truck. It feels like it's forever. It's 3 minutes, but I don't care who shows up.
We got to talk about that. So you talked about, some good stuff. You talked about your first Signal 10, but how is it first Signal 10 outside of that building?
So
watching everything, which a lot of people, I want my listeners to know what I said, outside of the building. So everyone thinks it's huge when you're inside, there's fire here, but there's a lot of heat when you're outside of this building. So please talk to me. First fire.
So I was still captain.
Okay.
I was acting chief. Two of our chiefs were out. So it was just me and the guy who's now zero chief of department now, Chief Stevens. He was second deputy at the time. So it's me and him. He's out at work. I think he was in like Garden City. So I'm sitting hanging out at the firehouse, and we get an automatic alarm at 3 Hoover Street. we go there on a pretty consistent basis.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, whatever. Walk out the firehouse, get in the car. But as I get to the ramp of the firehouse, I see a column of smoke coming from the direction of 3 Hoover Street. So I'm like, this ain't the automatic alarm anymore. So now I'm driving there. The dispatcher tells me, hey, I'm upgrading this to a building fire now. We're getting calls for a fire in the body shop. So I go to 3 Hoover Street side. That's how we normally go in. And I see the smoke. Now it's in the mechanic shop. I walk through. And an ex-chief always told me, do not transmit it until you see it. Because it could be a rubbish fire. It could be a dumpster fire. It could be a car fire in the middle of the street. Just because you got it as a building fire, it could be 30 anything. Million things.
Yeah.
So I walk around, I see it. It's a bus on fire and a lift with the impingement on the acetylene tank. So I transmit, get in my car, and now I'm dressed, and now it feels like it's forever.
Just waiting.
Forever. Like I'm in the street by myself, and I'm like,
you're standing there,
and now
people
all the employees are coming out of the building,
like, where are
and they're like, they're feeling the sound. I'm like, oh my god, like where are these people? It was like 4 minutes,
but it felt like 40.
It felt like 2 hours. I'm like, what is going? So that was my first experience. I'm like, oh nah. I was like, this is crazy. And so the chief of department, his now chief of department, got there. He was like, how was it? I'm like,
y'all took forever.
I said, I don't know how it seemed to you, but for me, it felt like 20 years for the first 200 to get there. He's like, nah, it only took them 4 minutes. I'm like, no, I don't know about that.
Response time, but.
Yeah, because now you got guys that come to Firehouse, and I was like, they did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely did a great job. And it was good. I had one of the mutual aid chiefs, Chief Adler from Volunteers. He was one of the first chiefs to get there. So he was like, listen, you good? Like, you got to do this, like, I got it. And so he went inside and was the fire sector, and it was overall a great experience. Everything worked out, but that first 4 minutes was
harsh.
Like I was sweating.
I was sweating. Looking like this.
Yeah.
What's going on? Where they at?
I'm like, where are they? Like, I'm like doing little things like, hey, take this hydrant just to see if they answer. Like, all right, we're on the way. Like,
we're on our way, Chief.
All right, like it's only 6 blocks away. Like, but it was, it wasn't a long time, but it was. Standing at the other side of the street is different.
It's
like,
different.
It's different. Like it falls down on you. Like you have to make that tactical decision. Some guys aren't gonna like it.
Yeah.
Like fortunately I haven't been in a situation where we've had to pull people out of the building. But one day, God forbid, hopefully not, I might have to make that decision. And you're gonna get some feedback on it that you're not, we should have gave us 2 more minutes, 3 more minutes. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I'm not willing to risk you for this insurance money.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, that's so true.
Being in the street is a different feeling.
It's a different feeling, definitely. Yeah. All right, so I want to ask you a question about actually what you do for a living.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about what you do for a living. And first, I guess, talk how you got into that.
So I'm a New York City fire alarm dispatcher. I've been on... February will be 6 years I've been on, working in Borough, Queens. So originally I was working at Lawrence as an EMT when I was like 19, 20. I got hired in the city in 2019. And I got my start from the volunteer fire department. Like guys knew guys in the fire department. They were hiring provisionally. I put my resume in, was selected, went through the class. And, had to take the civil service test. Became permanent. I just took the FDNY fire promotion test in May, hopefully getting on, next year.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Luck.
And, I love my job. Like, it's the next best thing from being a fireman. Like you're not there putting the fire out, but you're in the know, like you're with it. It's there. But yeah, I was 22 years old. Guys like, all right, like guys at LC were like, yo, it's time to get a job. I'm like, all right, no. Then I would escape that, go to Inwood, and guys were like, all right, what are you doing with yourself? Like, you're 22 years old. Like, this isn't going to be your career forever. And 2 guys grabbed me and was like, all right, fill this out.
Do this, do that.
You're going to do this, you're going to do that.
That's the beauty of the fire department. That is the beauty.
I've seen it with a bunch of guys. Like, that's the greatest thing about the volunteer fire department. There's so many guys that do so many things and know so many people. Like,
that's right.
You get a guy in the firehouse, he's a plumber. You get the young kid, yo, come work with me for the day. Next thing you know, he's a plumber. You get the guy who's an electrician, yo, come work with me for the day. Now this guy's an electrician. I drive this guy in the police department. It's just the volunteer fire department helps so many people out, and we've gotten a lot of people. Some of the hosts, the people that was on your show, they spoke about it, like they got their career started in the volunteer fire department. Mm-hmm. Now they're city firemen and stock companies in the city. The volunteer fire department is phenomenal. It can really open up a lot of doors for a lot of people. And guys try. All you gotta do is just be a humble dude. Do the right thing. Keep your nose clean. Keep your mouth shut. Guys will go a long way for you. And I'm thankful, because if it wasn't for the volunteer fire department, I would have never become a New York City fire dispatcher.
Wow. So being a dispatcher, I got to ask the question: does it make you cringe when people get on the radio and they're not speaking correctly?
Yes.
Does it make you cringe? Yes. As chief, I know you're like in your department, like, yo, y'all gotta fix this.
It drives me up the wall. It drives me up the wall. Like
I can imagine.
Like I hear some of these reports, and I'm just like, just turn the radio off. Like it's just like, whether it's in my department, anywhere, like and it's not their fault. Some of these guys have never spoke on the radio. Yeah, and I may be a little harsh because I do it for a living, but it's like, my man, you got to stop and think before you open your mouth.
Take a deep breath. For all my probies and all my guys listening, that's what a senior guy told me. Before you click that button, take a breath, then click the button.
Yeah, one guy had a really good line. I'm sure you heard it. Like, when Mr. Softy turns the corner, he expects to see kids.
Yeah.
When the garbage man turns the corner, he expects to see garbage. When we turn the corner, even for the automatic alarm, we should expect the building to be on fire.
That's right.
And like, you get guys, they're going to a house fire. They're being told it's multiple calls. We're getting people trapped, and they're screaming. Like, why are you screaming? You know what you're going to. Like, and maybe I'm a little judgmental because I do it for a living, but we still gotta be professional about it.
Always.
Just keep it professional. There's no need to scream, because now you're just setting the bar for panic.
Okay.
Through the roof. So when you scream, we all gonna scream.
That's right. That's right. So let me ask you a question about being a dispatcher. For the people that are listening, is just a test? Like, how do you become a dispatcher if that's something?
So they just did a provisional hire, which is, you submit a resume to Candidate Investigations, FDNY. They go through your resume if you meet it between having 60 college credits or being a volunteer firefighter.
Okay.
They call you, do a background investigation, your fingerprints and all, same way you would do regular. And they hire you. You go through I think it may be 13 weeks now, 16 weeks of training.
Okay.
You graduate. We just graduated 4 new dispatchers a couple days ago. Once you graduate the training academy, they put you into a borough. You now learn your borough. You do your job. And then if you're provisional, when the test comes out, you have to file for the test and pass.
And then pass. Okay.
So that's the way I got hired. So 2019, I was hired provisionally. 2020, the test came out, passed it. Once you pass the test, you become permanent status, and the rest is history. Like, guys have made a great career off being fire alarm dispatchers. Like, it's a really good job. If you can't be a fireman for, age, health, whatever it is, that's the next best job.
Yeah. Okay.
The next best job being a dispatcher. You really get to see the other side of the world. And I learned there's a lot more of being a dispatcher than what most people think. They think it's just a guy on the radio.
No, it's a lot. You got to be calm. You got to be relaxed. Everyone else is bugging out. Like, you got to be relaxed.
You got to remember, there's people calling you on their worst day.
That's right.
And it's a water leak.
True.
To me, it's just a water leak. But for them, but to the caller, it's their worst day. And that's how it is going on runs.
Yeah.
For us, we shut the gas off. This lady's smelling gas. She's having the worst day of her life. We go shut the gas off in 10 minutes. We're gone.
I know it's done.
But that's just treat people the right way.
That's it. I love it. All right. So before we get out of here, I got one question for you. What is one piece of advice that you'd want to give the listener right now that is thinking about joining, or the listener right now that's actually in and they only got a year in or a couple of months? What is one piece of advice that you'd want to give them?
Just do the right thing. Stay humble. Keep your ears open. Ask questions. I feel like a lot of people are afraid to ask questions in the fire department. There's no stupid question. Because that question you want to ask, I guarantee you there's 20 people that want the same answer.
And that's afraid to say something.
And they're afraid to say something. And if you don't want to do it in a big group, grab the senior guy, grab somebody on the side. Hey, what's this? Pick the two up. What is this?
Yeah.
I love when a guy would do that. What is this? Or how do we use this? Or what do we need this for? Ask the question. Don't ever be ashamed, because that might be able to save your life or the guys next to your life one day.
Yeah.
So
I love that. All right, listen. Josiyah, good looking, brother.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming down. Is there anything I'm forgetting? Anything that you want to plug or say before we get out of here?
No, this is a great show.
Thank
you.
Keep
it going. I enjoy watching it.
All right.
You got some good people coming on and some good.
We got some more good people coming up. So
got some good conversations and keep it going. Proud of you. Happy for you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Listen, I hope you guys enjoyed that. We just heard from Josiyah from the Inwood Fire Department about his life as a firefighter. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. Please like, share, subscribe, do all of those things. I am your host, Chris Moses, and please tune in next week for another great conversation in the Firehouse.